What if the ache you carry isn't a flaw, but a sign you're tuned to a deeper frequency? If you're an INFJ or an ENTJ, you probably know the feeling. You move through rooms and sense things other people miss. You catch the story beneath the story, the motive behind the smile, the tension inside the silence. It's not that you're fragile. It's that your nervous system and your mind are wired to notice meaning first and noise second. In a world that rewards the opposite, that wiring hurts. Carl Jung argued that we're not blank slates. We arrive with a particular pattern of mind, a temperament with its own gravity. Some people orient outward and take most of their cues from the visible world. Others orient inward and relate most strongly to the unseen. Impulses, images, intuitions, and the quiet pull of purpose. Intuitive introverts live in that second stream. Their center of gravity is inside. They don't just see objects, they sense possibilities. They don't just hear words, they pick up intentions. That inner orientation is powerful. It's also isolating. The isolation shows up early. While other kids chase noise and novelty, the intuitive introvert sits with a question that doesn't let go. Why do people pretend? What happens when we die? Why does this unfair thing exist if everyone agrees it's wrong? The playground answers never satisfy. So books become friends, long walks become rituals, and the night sky becomes a teacher. The inner world swells with images and meanings while the outer world seems flat and hurried. The gap widens with age. Adulthood doesn't erase the gap, it reframes it. You can do meetings, you can do deadlines, you can do "how's it going" in the hallway. But every shallow interaction leaves a residue. It's not that you hate people. You love depth. You love truth. You crave conversations where masks fall off and souls step forward. Yet most days you get schedules, surface talk, and rituals that don't touch the heart. There's a constant dissonance between what you value and what the world rewards. Consider a scene many INFJs and INTJs know too well. You're in a team meeting. Your manager says, "I expected a little more initiative on that project." 10 seconds for everyone else. 10 hours for you. By evening, you've replayed the moment, decoded tone, spliced every micro-expression, and built 3 theories of what they really meant. Did I disappoint them? Did I miss something obvious? Did I misread the whole assignment? You're not obsessive for sport. You're trying to reconcile a felt pattern your mind can't ignore with a social system that rarely acknowledges patterns at all. Social media doesn't help. It's not jealousy that stings, it's the buzz. So many signals. So many agendas. So much posturing. One careless comment can send you down a spiral, not because you're weak, but because your mind is a magnet for subtext. You register the weight behind a sentence, and then you track it across old memories, values, and possibilities. The analysis isn't a choice, it's your default setting. The cost is fatigue. Family gatherings can be harder than boardrooms. Someone asks, "How are you?" You consider telling the truth. You say, "Honestly, I felt strangely hollow lately, like I'm drifting through routines that used to have meaning." The room tilts. Someone changes the subject. Someone else recommends a new app for productivity. You weren't seeking therapy, only connection. Instead, you learned, again, that intimacy makes some people uncomfortable. The lesson lands the way these lessons always land. Next time, keep it light. Silence gains another room in the house. This is the part most people don't see. For intuitive introverts, suffering is often quiet. It's not chaos, it's erosion. The slow wearing away of self that happens when your truth has no obvious home, when the world asks for your competence but not your depth, when your most accurate perceptions are dismissed as reading too much into things. You carry a language that few around you speak. Translating that language all the time is exhausting. INFJs and INTJs share this terrain but experience it differently. The INFJ's intuition is tethered to feeling. You read a room by reading people, facial cues, energy shifts, value clashes. Your radar is calibrated for harmony and meaning at the human level. When that harmony is fake, you feel it as moral friction. You sense inauthenticity like a pebble in your shoe you can't shake out. You want to help, to heal, to name the conflict, but you also don't want to explode the fragile piece. The result is a kind of empathy whiplash. You absorb pain you didn't cause and then judge yourself for not relieving it. The INTJ's intuition, by contrast, pairs with thinking. You read systems, structures, and long arcs. You track what will happen if people keep doing what they're doing. Inefficiency grates like noise. Vagueness feels irresponsible. You see the fix while everyone debates whether a problem exists. The suffering comes from living in timelines other people can't see yet. You can predict failure and you can design solutions, but you can't force buy-in. Dismissal isn't just annoying, it threatens your sense of order and justice. You end the meeting feeling both superior and stranded, which is its own lonely trap. Both types are often mislabeled. Sensitive, cold, dramatic, arrogant. Pick your flavor. The labels miss the underlying reality. Intuitive introverts are paying attention at a layer most environments ignore. That attention is accurate more often than it's not, but accuracy doesn't guarantee acceptance. When you try to explain your read, people may blanch because you're naming the thing beneath the thing. When you stay silent, you carry what no one is willing to hold. Either way, you pay. Jung regarded inner images as real forces. Not objects you can touch, but energies that act on us. Intuitive introverts live close to that river. Dreams matter. Symbols matter. Hunches carry information. If you treat those impressions as trivial, you cut yourself off from your own guidance. If you treat them as gospel, you drift into fantasies and lose traction in the world. The work is to translate. You're not supposed to drown in your inner ocean. You're supposed to become a sailor. So what eases the suffering? Not pretending to be an extrovert. Not numbing yourself with busyness. Relief begins where self-betrayal ends. Solitude is not an exit, it's a home base. Use it on purpose. Give yourself time each day to let impressions land, without fighting them, without forcing conclusions. Write them down. Draw them. Make music from them. When you translate raw intuition into form, you turn fog into a map. Depth doesn't have to be rare if you curate where you find it. One strong friendship that can handle honesty will feed your soul more than 50 networking coffees. Seek conversations where both people can be changed by what they hear. If a group cannot tolerate depth, stop asking it to. Your heart is not a shock absorber for rooms that refuse to tell themselves the truth. Nature helps because it refuses to be superficial. Trees don't posture. Rivers don't pretend. The sky won't flatter you. Time outside recalibrates your senses and reminds you that meaning doesn't need an audience. Movement helps because it takes intuition out of your head and into your body. Walks, stretches, lifting weights, long swims, whatever puts you back in your skin. When you move, you metabolize impressions. Stagnant energy becomes momentum. Dreamwork and journaling give your inner life a place to breathe. Your mind speaks in images at night. Answer it in ink during the day. Record the dream. Underline the recurring symbol. Ask what it wants from you, not what it can do for your status. You're not decoding a puzzle to impress anyone. You're listening for your next right step. Service offers a paradoxical medicine. When you use your insight on behalf of something larger than your own anxiety, you turn inwardness into contribution. Mentor the student who thinks too much. Volunteer where quiet people are needed. Teach the skill you've refined in solitude. When your perception becomes a gift rather than a private burden, it stops eating you from the inside. INFJs ease their pain by practicing boundaries that preserve empathy without erasing identity. It is possible to be kind without becoming the container for everyone's unspoken grief. Say what you see once gently, and then let it go. Don't bargain with your intuition. Don't carry what others refuse to own. When guilt arrives, because it will, treat it as a signal that you told the truth, not that you did harm. INTJs ease their pain by narrating their thinking out loud and inviting collaboration earlier than feels comfortable. People rarely reject your vision. They reject the feeling of being bypassed. Share the model behind your conclusion. Show your work. Ask what costs you haven't considered. You won't lose your edge by doing this. You will gain allies who know how to help you get the future you already see. Relationships are possible and beautiful for intuitive introverts when the ground rules are honest. Tell partners up front that you need quiet to function, that you notice subtext, that small lies hurt you more than difficult truths. Ask for feedback in clear language. Offer yours in the same way. Make meaning together on purpose. Rituals, projects, study, prayer, trips into the wild. Love deepens when it has somewhere to travel. Careers become livable when the work asks for your depth. You won't thrive forever in roles that punish foresight or treat people as parts. Look for environments that reward clarity, design, strategy, healing, research, storytelling, or stewardship. You don't need the loudest room, you need the most coherent mission. If your current role can't give you that, start building the next one in parallel, even in small ways. A newsletter, a prototype, a cohort to teach, a studio hour before dawn. Daily practice anchors everything. Start the morning by checking in with yourself before you check your phone. Name what you're sensing. Name what matters most today. Name the one courageous conversation or focus block that would make the day honest. End the evening by releasing what isn't yours to fix, and by noticing one moment of beauty you would have missed if you hadn't been paying attention. That gratitude isn't corny. It's corrective. Some suffering will remain because life is not designed to match our preferences. But the sharpest suffering, the kind born of self-denial in misfit environments, can soften when you live congruently. Congruence doesn't mean comfort. It means alignment. The outside of your life begins to look like the inside of your values. That shift is subtle and powerful. People who couldn't hear you before will begin to understand. Others will step back. Both outcomes are mercies. You will still walk into rooms and sense what others don't. You will still hear the dissonance under a cheerful agenda or the longing inside a polished plan. But you won't treat those perceptions as a curse. You'll treat them as data points in service of meaning. You'll intervene where you have standing, and you'll let go where you don't. You'll speak when speech serves the truth, and you'll keep your counsel when silence protects it. If you need a sentence to carry out of this video, take this. Your sensitivity is your compass, not your cage. When you treat it that way, the world doesn't get less noisy, but you get less lost. And if you need a companion sentence, take Jung's simple challenge. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Looking inside isn't escape. It's orientation. It's how intuitive introverts come home to themselves. So if you're an INFJ or an INTJ and the day already feels heavy, remember that your pain is a sign of contact with something real. You care because you see. You see because you're built to. Your task is not to shut that window, but to learn how to live with it open, sometimes just a crack, sometimes wide, without letting the storm take the house. Tune your life to support the way you are. Surround yourself with people who speak your language or want to learn it. Create the work that needs your depth. Give your gifts where they land and stop apologizing when they don't. You're not too much. You're precise. You're not aloof. You're discerning. You're not broken. You're built for meaning. Suffering less doesn't mean dulling your perception. It means refusing to abandon yourself to fit a world that often forgets to listen. Keep listening. Keep translating. Keep choosing the next honest step. That's how intuitive introverts move from ache to purpose, not by waiting for a quieter planet, but by becoming a truer person on this one. If this resonates, take a breath and claim it. Write one line tonight about what your intuition has been trying to tell you. Tell one trusted person one true thing. Make one small decision that honors your inner signal over outer pressure. Then come back here, because this channel exists so people like you don't have to walk alone. And if you want more like this, deeper dives, practical tools, and stories that speak your language, subscribe, share this with a friend, and let me know in the comments where your compass is pointing next. Your mind is not the problem. It's the path.